Gunzman here of ABC, and I just had the opportunity to speak with the stars of Maudie. Now, Maudie is a film based on the true story of Maudie Lewis. Now, who was Maudie Lewis? She was actually a cripple who ended up finding a passion and a talent for art and would later become one of Canada's most famous artists. And the film actually stars two people. You might have heard of them. Both are former Academy Award nominees. You had Ethan Hawke, of course, from Training Day. He was in Brooklyn's Finest, The Purge. And then also Sally Hawkins, which was in Blue Jasmine, which was actually Woody Allen's film. So I had a great time, and hopefully you will enjoy it as well. Check it out. Anyway, great to meet you guys. Mike Gunzman here. Congratulations. Obviously, Maudie, June 16th. A lot of fun. Was able to see it last night. Very simple, but still a lot to it. Kind of like the unspoken feelings when I'm watching it. Would you guys kind of agree with that, or?
Definitely. Well, I always thought we did our best scene work when we managed to cut out as many lines as possible. Because you want to figure out these people like this. When I have a place in Nova Scotia, and people who spend a lot of time fishing and in nature and stuff, not to generalize, but there isn't a lot of useless chatter. You know? And we wanted to capture, I mean, there was a lot of directors would have, this couple spent most of their life in a 9x9 shack, right? And you could have set it on a sound stage and we could have had a nice time filming it. She set it out there in Newfoundland, out in the cold.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah,
and it was awesome. The wind blowing through the place, and you know, having to light a fire to keep it warm, and you know, the crew would get upset when he would let the fire die.
All huddled around.
It made our imaginations real, and it made it terse and tough, the way that their language should be and their lives were, and I think it helped us.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Because it was based, coming off that, because it was based on a true story, did you have to do more research on this? Perhaps did you spend more time there? You mentioned that you have a place there anyway. Did you spend more time actually learning about what actually went on?
I got to Newfoundland quite early. It was shot in Newfoundland, despite being set in Nova Scotia. Tax reasons, I think. Anyway, so I love getting a place early, acclimatize and get a feel of the place. And it's an extraordinary landscape and so wild, and feels like it hasn't changed. It's so different from coming from a city like London, and there's so much you can do, and it being a true story is not that much available. First
there
material.
Isn't that much.
No,
it's true.
When it's all in script, it's beautiful script, and it was. There's a lovely. Documentary. You see them sort of all.
There's little insights in that documentary.
One
of my favorite little insights about my character in that documentary is somehow it comes up what his favorite meal is.
Oh yeah.
He says his favorite meal is bread.
Simple. But quite difficult to get right.
And I agree with him. What's better than bread? But the idea that he, when asked his favorite meal, that his thought was bread.
That sums him up.
It does. I thought that was all I needed to know. I was like, okay, I get this guy.
The chemistry between you guys, one of my favorite parts or something I noticed was when you guys first kind of meet each other, and he goes, I asked for a woman, and you're like, well, I am a woman, and you're just like, the hell? You know what I mean? Like, really, you guys, right? And your face is really, I actually rewind the digital cups, I rewind it, I was like, nailed it. So, you guys really worked well as far as chemistry went on the set.
I love working with you. It was great and so much fun. I laughed a lot, and that just finding the weirdness and the delight in that. And like you're saying, it's a simple story, but it's so complex. And to get a simplicity right, it's the most difficult thing. And when you trust someone, I knew, you just know when you just can go anywhere and they'll be there, and it's great fun. Of course, you're working very hard to create that reality, but it's play at its best.
Yeah, well, you want it in a strange way. You kind of want to match Maudie's art, and the movie should feel like it can't be pretentious. Her work is like completely. It's so heartfelt and joyous. It can't put on airs. It can't be important. It can't be. It's just human, and that is plenty.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do that right.
Yeah, completely.
And so that was the challenge for us. But we had each other.
Yeah.
You know, we had a really good director who took care of everything else so that we could just be these people.
Coming off the aspect of the art aspect, you know, some people love music, and you know, music is their outlet, and a lot of people also like art. And I think this movie, especially when you find out her story, it's the escape from reality. That you know, literally, some people are like, oh, music can save lives. You know, doing your talent can you know, save yourself. Is that kind of, did you kind of get that feeling from her, at least, you know, acting, portraying her at least?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just something that she had to do. She couldn't not do it. And once you sort of release that, it's like when you have, you know, art, or whether it's music, or it's like a nagging, you just have to release it. And she saw what she represented the world, how she wanted to see it, and the colors she used. And, you know, she's sort of using Everett's fisherman paints and those
found
toxic
little old pieces of plywood.
Fumes, and just boards.
Yeah, and those fumes might have killed her.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, it didn't help, I don't think.
Certainly didn't help.
Was acting, when you guys were growing up, your escape, or was it just something at first that became a hobby? It was a hobby, and then it's like...
I think it was a form of storytelling. For me, it was, art was very important to me, and still is, but they're not exclusive. They all overlap, and you're creating worlds, and it's about stepping into a picture, and we're very lucky to be able to do that. And
I remember one of my kids was 5, and she said to me, she was listening to this song that she really liked. And you know that feeling, she just listened to the song over and over again. It was kind of making her feel things, you know. And she said, you know, I really want to be inside that song. Is there any way to do that? And I kind of thought, you know what, there is. And that's what I do for a living. And and talk to me in 10, 15 years, and, you know, I'll see if you still want to do that. But it's kind of what I feel like.
Completely.
You know, it's just somehow.
Yeah, and it's just such a privilege, you know, to bring these characters. So, you know, tuning to that energy.
Yeah. And Sally takes that very seriously, and that was the true north of this movie, was honoring these people with the whole of your being, and at least trying.
Yeah, like you want to do it justice.
You want to fall down on the sword of doing justice to these people, and also making a movie that in some strange movie language is true to them. You know, you can't make a fat, rich, opulent movie about Maud Lewis. Right. You know, the craft service shouldn't be outrage. You know what I mean? Just there'd be something wrong about it.
Exactly.
You know?
Final question real quick, because it is for ABC. Do you have a comment on just Manchester or anything like that went on? They just had the concert for everybody over there.
Well, my heart goes out to, it was, it's horrific, really. What can you do? I mean, that it will go on, something that we have to deal with. And I learned about it as I was on my way to the airport, you know, as it broke. So yeah, it's something that we just have to deal with today, and despite, can't let it really stop. There's nothing we can do. You just keep going, and don't sit in our houses. And but yeah, it's awful. Yeah, so I sort of flew away from that, and sort of just hearing it, how many people were injured, and fatalities, and, you know, it happened just down the road from me. So
to keep going on and keep being strong, right?
Yeah, I think it's something that our world is just an issue.
On that note,
yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Great
you.
film. Good luck with everything and the rest of